You say you want a better life, but sometimes I wonder if people actually want the life or just the fantasy of it. Because a fantasy costs nothing. You can imagine greatness while doing absolutely nothing that creates it. And that's exactly what most people do. They romanticize the future while feeding the habits destroying it. Look around. People complain about being stuck, while spending most of their lives escaping themselves. Scrolling, refreshing, watching other people live, consuming motivation they never apply. And the terrifying part is, modern life allows this endlessly. You can waste years now without noticing. That never existed before. In older times, survival forced people into reality. Now distraction protects you from it. You can feel productive without producing, stimulated without progressing, connected without belonging, entertained without living. That's why so many people feel empty. Not because life has no meaning, because they spend most of it disconnected from themselves, and then they still ask for extraordinary lives. That's the contradiction. People want the body without the discipline, the success without the pressure, the respect without the sacrifice, the peace without confronting themselves. They want the reward without becoming the person capable of holding it. And life doesn't work like that. Reality is not emotional. It does not care what you meant to do. It responds to patterns. That's why your daily behavior matters more than your ambitions, because behavior is truth. Anybody can speak about goals. Patterns reveal priorities. A person says, I want to change, but their actions repeat the same identity every day. At some point, you have to stop listening to what people say, including yourself. Watch what repeats. That's who a person really is. And this becomes dangerous in modern society, because people have mastered the art of appearing ambitious, talking about growth, talking about plans, talking about mindset, but their life is built on avoidance. That's why so many people feel mentally exhausted without changing anything, because thinking about life has replaced living it. The mind gets temporary satisfaction from imagining progress, so people confuse intention with movement. But reality never does. Reality can tell the difference between a person building a future and a person emotionally attached to the idea of having one. That's why time destroys some people, not because they are weak, because eventually reality exposes repetition. Years pass, the excuses sound the same, the goals stay unfinished, the potential stays theoretical, and slowly, a person starts losing respect for themselves. That's the hidden cost of wasted time nobody talks about, not lost productivity. Self-betrayal. Because every ignored responsibility, every delayed action, every promise you break to yourself teaches your mind something dangerous. My words don't mean anything. And once that happens, motivation stops working, because internally, trust is broken. That's why discipline changes people psychologically, not because it looks impressive, because it rebuilds self-respect. When you repeatedly do what you said you'd do, your mind stops fighting itself. Clarity appears, confidence becomes quieter but real. The future stops feeling imaginary. And this is where most people misunderstand success completely. Success is not really about achievement, it's about alignment. When your actions, values, standards, and direction stop contradicting each other, life becomes powerful, but very few people reach that state. Because modern society rewards distraction. A distracted population consumes more, questions less, escapes more, depends more. That's why focus today feels almost rebellious. A person who can sit alone with their thoughts, work without constant stimulation, stay consistent without external validation, has become rare. And rarity always has value. That's why it's actually easier to win today than people realize. Not because success became simple, because deep focus became uncommon. Most people are not defeated by lack of opportunity. They are defeated by fragmentation. Their attention is broken, their habits are broken, their identity is divided between who they are and who they keep imagining becoming. And that division quietly destroys lives. Because humans can survive failure, but it's very difficult to survive knowing you are capable of more than the life you keep choosing. That feeling follows people everywhere. At night, in silence, during distraction, even during moments that are supposed to feel enjoyable. Because unfulfilled potential creates psychological weight, and no amount of entertainment fully removes it. Ask yourself a darker question. If I was life itself, would I give me the future I keep asking for? Ask yourself honestly, if your current habits continued for the next 5 years, would they deserve the future you keep dreaming about? Would your discipline deserve it? Would your focus deserve it? Would your consistency deserve it? Or are you asking life to give you something you haven't become prepared to carry yet? Because maybe the hardest truth of all is this: a great life is not something you wish into experience, it's something your repeated behavior slowly proves you're ready for. And until your actions match your desires, your potential will remain exactly what it currently is: potential unlived.